When we talk about African immigration into Europe, we talk about one country that has the most people everywhere. And like Professor Lumumba of Kenya said, if a Nigerian isn't there, that place is dead. Don't go there. Leave that place right away. And I lived in Poland and Nigerians were definitely there. So they are the kings of Africa. They have the most people, the largest size with the most influence. So when you talk about a lot of immigrants that go to Europe or any place else, we could be talking about a lot of Nigerians because they're 20% of the continent of Africa. But this story is very interesting, and it's also courageous what our Nigerian brothers were able to do on this particular plane. Here we have a Nigerian sister who has a baby, and for whatever reason, unbeknownst to me, she is deported from Europe back to Nigeria. And this story is going to be covered by a lady who is speaking, I believe you consider it pidgin English, so you may or may not be able to understand exactly what she's saying, but I'm going to give the floor to her so she breaks down exactly what is transpiring here.
God for all these Nigerian men wey stand for this girl. The way Oyibo take dey treat black sometimes dey really touch me. This video wey una dey watch na video of a young girl wey dem dey deport from Europe. They go back to Nigeria. I no even know the country because they no make mention of the country, but I go tell una wetin happen inside the flight. So the girl get pikin, e get baby, so they come say make the girl comot. They want deport am back to her country. She carry her baby and everything, her bag. They reach airport, so she don board and everything. After she don check in, e don enter inside flight finish. Na so the pilot wey wan carry dem go back to Nigeria carry pikin from her, say dem no fit deport the pikin join the girl. Na only the girl dem fit deport. Like, why? So the thing come dey cause kasala inside the flight. Na so all the Nigerian men wey be say dem still dey travel just stand for the girl, say lai o, if dem no go deport the baby join the girl, make dem leave the girl instead. If dem no go deport the baby join the girl, then make dem free the girl. How you go deport mama leave the pikin for who? Na so they take stand, so if not the flight no go move. Na so they gbas before they finally accept to leave the pikin for the girl. My people, the way they do dey treat us, e no good. Make una watch the video. God bless these men. Una see the way they take stand for this girl. Just imagine say how we say this men no dey. Even the girl no fit even talk by herself. How we say all these men no dey this flight. This girl for no fit carry her pikin go Nigeria. Una just watch.
This flight. No way. She pass her with her baby. No problem. No problem. With her baby, no problem. Give her the baby, no problem. No problem. We are going with the baby. Give her the baby. Mama. Please calm down. Okay. Please. Okay, calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
She's all the way at the back. So I'm trying to talk. What? I'm trying to talk to them. They're trying to like. I was like, no, what's going on? No. Yeah. Everyone see what's going on.
Yeah, for pretty crazy.
And I used to tell them they don't believe what the hell.
No, we record. I will record everything. Nigerian government will see what you are doing.
Stop recording, please.
No, I will stop.
I didn't know.
So what you see there is a lady that is being deported. But what you may not have understood was they're trying to separate the mother from the child, trying to let the mother go back to Nigeria while keeping the baby in that country. But the brothers on the plane is not letting that happen. They're telling the people, listen, if you're going to deport her, that's fine. Send her back to Nigeria. But we're not going to let this plane go without the baby going with the mother. And that is very courageous. I very rarely see that happening on the African continent, but it just goes to show you how serious some of the brothers and sisters are in Africa. You can find it any place, but especially in Nigeria. And it really shows about the camaraderie that we do have. Now, Wong Gail over at African Diaspora also covered the story, and she made a reference about the unity of the brothers on the plane. I want you to listen to that clip, and I'm going to come back.
I also want to focus on the brothers that you see in that clip. They do not care if they don't get to their destination on time. What they cared about is justice for their sister. And it was a beautiful thing to watch, because it shows us that if we come together and we become our brother's keeper, we can change so much. We can change the situation that we are in, that we are constantly talking about and are depressed about. We can change that, because in unity, prosperity is bound to happen. But that is exactly why the evil of this world doesn't want us to have one voice, doesn't want us to unite. There's always this diaspora war, there's always tribal war, there's always fights with our neighbors. The moment we realize how powerful we are when we come together and demand what's rightfully ours in one voice, that day, the world will see how powerful we are as a people.
So as you hear, she's talking about the unity of the brothers. And you know what? This is a great thing. What if we can be so united against foreigners? How would we be as a continent? Well, this is something that is not uncommon, really, in the history of Black people. We typically will come together against somebody that is foreign. Now, we do have sellouts, but it's something that's happened all across Africa, from the Mau Mau tribe to brothers in Nigeria to Kabwaka Mwanga in Uganda. It's something that happens, you know, the Zulus against the British. It happens, right? But the question is this: the lack of unity is probably one of the reasons why she's even in Europe in the first place, okay? This happens in Black America too. A lot of our best talent leave and go to white communities, which leaves the Black communities dry and barren. And this, unfortunately, is happening with most countries in Africa. The best talent is leaving, they're leaving with their families to someplace else, and if it doesn't work out, they get mistreated, and a lot of times they get deported and treated like animals. It happens in Dubai, it happens everywhere. I see it happening in Poland. But here's something else I wanted to bring out that I feel like maybe Wong Gail didn't have enough time to bring out, was this. What if it was me or you on that plane? Think about it. Would they have treated you any differently? It could be the case if you have an American passport. You might get treated a little bit better. But I'm going to argue you're not going to get treated a little bit better, because I've been the person in Europe with a blue passport, with a lot of money, and still got treated just like that sister did on the plane. Now, I'm not going to say I haven't experienced times where I was treated better, because I've also experienced both times. Yes, I'm an American citizen. I get things a little bit easier than some of the brothers from Africa. But in general, I have been one of the people that was just Black. And that's something that we need to understand. For those people who are into the whole, you know, this country war versus that country, Nigeria versus Ghana, you know, African Americans versus the Caribbeans, and the London is the same thing. Well, how do they see you? That's the question. Because when they see me or they see you, they see one thing: you are Black. And that's all that matters. Are you Black? Okay? Are you Black? Yes. Get them the out of here. That's all they care about. It happened the same thing with the sassy trucker, this young lady in Houston. You know, American citizen, Black, put her ass in jail for like damn near 3 or 4 months. Okay? They didn't care if she was American. You're Black. That's all that matters. So we got to understand that's how folks see you. So when you understand that's how the rest of the world sees you, it should then try to change how you see yourself. And we're still having a fundamental issue with that, because we know that many of us are different and we have different beliefs and different ways of life, but to others, we are the same. And the way they treat those people in Africa is the way they'll treat me. That's why Malcolm X said, listen, until Africa gets respect, no Black person in the world will get respect. And that tends to be true. This is why, even if you're not a fan of wanting to come to Africa or doing things in Africa, you should want Africa to do well, because if Africa does well, you'll do well. Let's talk about China 40 years ago. China 40 years ago was a big farming nation for the most part that was not as highly skilled as we see today. They had no real presence as a world power. Russia did, and the Soviet Union and the United States did. So a lot of Europe was speaking Russian, even in Poland. I lived there for some time, and most of the older people spoke Russian. But today the world is different because of China and what it's doing now. So many people in Kenya as Africans that, even the police dress like Chinese police officers now in blue uniforms. The culture is crazy. I even know people, I believe, shout out to Elvis Derry, he can even rap in Chinese fluently. Wodet Maya speaks fluent Chinese. How many of Chinese people probably speak fluent Swahili? Well, it could be some, but probably not many, because China has a lot of respect. So on the world stage, people respect Chinese people more now than even 40 years ago. There's even a lot more Mandarin classes you can take now in college because of China's success. So this is why Africa and Africa developing and doing very well is good for everybody black, so that situation that you saw there don't happen. Even if you're going to deport her, you should never leave this lady without her baby. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Dude Jackson with another episode of Fair Use. I'm out.